Hello everyone. Welcome to Ed Talk TV, Conversations Worth Having. I'm your host, Ed Troxel, and I am the tech-savvy business strategist who helps overwhelmed business owners get organized and overcome today's tech challenges. And on this show, we talk about business, tech, and the user experience. We go live typically Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's right now. And you can share this out and watch the replay and show some love both during the live broadcast as well as in the replay. You're going to hear me talk to replay viewers all the time. Replay viewers, I love you just as much as live viewers, and I'm hoping that today you guys will engage during the live broadcast because we're going to have an amazing guest. We'll bring them on here shortly. But for those who are new, this is a business talk show. We talk about, like I said, business, tech, and the user experience. And if you missed yesterday's show, we actually talked about e-commerce then and now and kind of ran through what websites used to look like and what they look like now. We went through and looked at Dell, Staples, and a few others, Expedia, Nike, quite a few there, and I even provided a resource for you to check out even more brands. So super cool if you missed yesterday's episode. Definitely check that out. Here's the thing. In the comments later, not now, in the comments I put my website, edtroxel.com. Once this episode's over, head over there, join the email list so then you don't miss out, because every week on Friday I send out a newsletter. It gives you a quick summary of what I've been up to, and it gives you a recap of all the episodes. So then that way it's basically a TV guide handed to you in your inbox, and you're good to go. So there's that. Now, before we jump into today's episode where we will bring on a guest who is going to rock your socks, I'm telling you, you're going to have so many golden nuggets out of this episode. You better get your pencil sharpened, you better get those pens out, get some paper, and be prepared because it's going to be a good one, and I'm really excited. But before we do that, we are going to cover some random news. Today we'll keep it super simple, and we'll just do one random news. Sometimes we do a few different ones, but today I wanted to keep it super simple because we have such a great episode planned. And I unplugged my headphones. If you notice there's a difference. For those who are new, I actually use headphones, usually plugged in. Right now, obviously they're not because I just took them out. But I wanted to share a short clip, and I'm only going to play a little bit of this clip, and then I'll put the link later in the comments so you guys can watch the rest of this. But I thought this was awesome because there's this little boy who had his first day back at school the other day, and he was a guest speaker. And I want you to just listen to just the bare basics right there of how he started out his day. So let me go ahead and share my screen with you guys, make sure I'm on the right one, and take a look at this. Take a listen.
I am here to speak to you about importance and benefits of reading. I personally read every day and absolutely love the adventure of reading. I will stand before you and speak with confidence and not be afraid. Reading.
Is that not cool? Right there. He is speaking to us / you and everyone else with confidence, and he is just, I know, the little bit of an echo, huh, Sally? I know, it was, the recording wasn't that great, and then, of course, streaming it through live broadcasting is going to have a little echo. Let me plug my headphones back in. But what was cool about that, and I'll share the link in the comments below, what was cool about that little boy speaking to I don't know how many people because I didn't get to see the crowd, but the fact is that one, he's super young. Two, he's showing up and delivering his message, and he's doing it with confidence because he reads every day. So take that and watch the video later. I'll share it in the comments again. But watch that and think about that every day. You know, we talk about it on the show. If you're new here, these are the 3 core values. This is what I teach you. And this is what he's doing. He's showing up and he's delivering. He's going to engage after he does all of that, right? But you have to do the first 2 first. And for him, he's doing it with confidence, and it's what grows us. And that's what I want you to understand, especially as a business owner. You need to read books. Not just online articles, those are great, but you need to look at books then and now. And then you also need to make sure that you are taking things that you learn, like live broadcasting, and jumping in and just doing it and just showing up and delivering your message. Because live broadcasting is the way your business is going to stand out, both here on Facebook and wherever else you're at. And if you can't do live broadcasting for whatever reason, then there's alternatives to that that you can tie in, and you can just do audio. Like, there's so many different ways. But if you're on Facebook and you're really trying to grow your Facebook presence, we talk about it a lot. Live broadcasting is preferred from Facebook. So just keep that in mind. And like I said, I'll share that video here in the comments for later, not now, because you don't want to go anywhere right now. You want to bring your friends and you want to hang out with us, because we are going to bring on our guest here. So let me go ahead and get my headphones plugged in. I'm going to go ahead and switch over my screen and give our guest here a call, and then we'll bring him on. So bear with me for just a minute here while we get everything set up for you. Fingers crossed tech works for us today, and we have no hiccups. Hello, hello.
Hello.
I have audio, hopefully video soon.
Okay.
No worries. Take your time. Hey, Mickey, welcome, everyone.
There we go.
There we go. Hello. I see you.
How's it going?
I'm so glad you are here. Go ahead and introduce yourself before we get too crazy and catch up. Go ahead and introduce yourself so people know who you are.
Sure, I'm Cindy, Cindy Merrim, and I've been running a publication mainly online called Diggin' Magazine since 2008. That's when we started, so we're coming up to our 10-year anniversary next month. We're super excited about that. I also manage social media for tech companies in Silicon Valley, and I've been doing that for a very long time as well. So, yeah, basically, I cover a lot of events on social media, blogging, via video, Facebook, Instagram story, live tweeting, all that kind of stuff, and it's a lot of fun. I've met a lot of interesting talent, celebrities, and really high-level people through doing that, and it's brought me really amazing opportunities to travel as well.
I love it. I love it. And you guys, Cindy and I actually have worked together on various projects and with other companies, and it has been amazing. Like, it's one of those relationships where you've been friends forever and you've worked together forever, that it's you're like, how are we still like exploring and connecting? And it's so awesome. It's so awesome.
I know. I think we've been working together consistently since like 2007, maybe.
Yeah, it's been awesome. And
yeah, I appreciate like all the assistance that you've provided for me, and I love collaborating with you. It's been awesome over the years.
Yeah, it's been so much fun. And you guys, I've actually helped Cindy with red carpet events, which has been super cool for being able to not only help assist, but like experience all of the things that she experiences on a regular basis, which is amazing and crazy at the same time.
Yeah.
So today I wanted to have Cindy on the show because, one, there's a huge celebration happening soon, like she mentioned, for her amazing magazine. So we're going to have her talk a little bit about her magazine and kind of basically how you started that, because that's important, of course, and kind of how you've been able to manage running this publication for so long, because it's a lot of work, and I've seen just a small part of what you do, and I know that even that is like a full-time job.
Yes, definitely.
So how did you start in terms of getting the magazine up and running? Like, was it just an idea that you thought would be cool, and then one thing led to another, or has it always been your passion? Like, give us a little background there.
Sure, I'd be happy to. Well, it all started off really that I did graduate work in marketing communications, and I did an internship in 2005 with a youth and trend marketing firm. They were actually a market research firm that had a magazine, a print magazine, in Hollywood. So I worked for them, and then I started getting really inspired working with them and tracking and doing research on youth culture with like music, fashion, film,
Nice.
All the popular culture topics. And I also worked a bit on their magazine, and they were using Photoshop and things like that. So I started getting interested in learning how to use Adobe programs after that.
Yep.
And then it just took off. I started taking classes in Adobe, so I'm basically really experienced in most of the Adobe programs. And I also learned how to design websites on my own.
Nice.
I worked for a number of different magazines along the way, and I figured, hey, you know what, I have all the skills and the tools to build my own magazine. And I had met some other, I guess, independent designers and entrepreneurs that were starting zines and magazines and websites and things like that. So I just started brainstorming and thought, hey, I'm going to follow my interests.
Yeah.
And I love movies. I love fashion. I love following professional sports, and I love artists and the art industry. So I thought, I'm into photography. I'm into video. I love writing.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to focus on that. And I was actually invited by that company, the market research firm, the youth and trend market research firm, to do a blogging experiment with them.
Cool.
Because it was back then, it was really, really new. There weren't many people blogging it, and definitely not in the business world at all.
Sure.
So I started writing a few blog posts for them, and they told me, they're like, whoa, this is your first time doing this? You totally killed it. This is amazing. And so that's when I really started gaining confidence, thinking hey, you know what, I'm going to start my own thing.
Yeah, which is super important, you guys, for those watching live and on the replay, because we get a lot of replay viewers, is that you took initiative. You went through and you studied, you learned, you took your skills and piled it all together, and you applied your skills with your passions, and then you created something from that, which is why now, 10 years later?
10 years later.
Yeah, now 10 years later, you're still doing it, and you're still loving it, and people are still enjoying it because you are passionate about it, and you took the skills and you applied them, which is what we have to do as entrepreneurs.
Yes.
I love that. And so throughout the years, was it always gravy in terms of, no problem, I can take that picture, I can write that post, and I'm going to get a ton of hits, and I'm going to make every event because everyone knows who I am? Was it always, glamorous, or were there a lot of hiccups along the way?
You know what, I wouldn't say there are really many hiccups, but I definitely think that perseverance and diligence really came into play in keeping my magazine going, because there's definitely doors that close or people that say no to you.
Sure.
But when that happened, I was kind of analyzed, why is that happening? And then I thought, oh, maybe it's because of the industry. I didn't take it personally, and then I tried to understand what was going on in the industry, because when I started it in 2008, and print magazines were still really dominant in the industry and with events, and so they were really focusing more on print magazines, not as much online or blogs.
Right.
So, I had wanted to start covering and interviewing really high-level events and celebrities and people, and it was difficult to get in. And then, but I didn't stop, and then the industry shifted, and then suddenly, everyone valued online publications, which was just amazing. And then I was able to get into all these special events, got VIP invites and things like that.
Yeah.
So so I would say that if I didn't keep it going, if I at that time when I heard some no's, if I just stopped doing it and got bummed out and depressed, then I wouldn't have it now, but I never let that stop me. So.
And that's what I love, you guys, is that Cindy not only just communicated that perfectly to all of us, but to understand that is why you have to pick something you're passionate about, because you're going to get those no's and you're going to have to pivot a little bit. And what I loved about it too is that you said that you didn't take it personally, that you took it and you made sure to analyze what was going on and to find out what the industry was asking, basically, which is super important because especially as a single entrepreneur, your first instinct typically would probably be take it personally, oh, they don't want to work with me. Oh, I'm not good enough, or whatever. And then you get stuck in that thinking, and then you realize you can't move forward. But you were like, no, this is not personal. I need to figure out what the industry wants. What do they need? and I'm going to provide it to them. And you have over the years, which has been amazing. And so how have you been able to basically get into these events, and like how did you start promoting basically the magazine, because it was a very different time when you first started than it is now?
Yeah, first of all, I just want to add really quick that part of what has kept me going and helped me like never to stop doing what I'm doing is because you know, I'm a very creative person, so it was also a creative outlet for me to write, to make videos, to do photography, all that type of thing. So it was kind of like my creative juices were constantly flowing, and that, you know, that was another reason why I didn't, you know, feel like I needed to stop. And I really, you know, hoped that it would get into like, or evolve into something greater. So I'm really happy about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, regarding getting into certain events, I would say, you know, I really started with covering smaller events. So like I knew some, for example, in the fashion industry, I knew some fashion designers in San Francisco, local fashion designers. But they also had some big accomplishments. One of them was on Project Runway and was a consistent contestant and did win something on Project Runway.
Nice.
And there's been, you know, a lot of models and like designers that have been featured on websites and in magazines and things like that. So, and also I have other friends in the fashion industry, so I would get these personal invites from friends that I knew to go and cover their fashion shows, and I took that opportunity to actually like film their runway shows, take fashion photos, write fashion reviews of their shows, interview them, so on and so forth. And even doing those smaller events, that really was like a stepping stone to doing bigger events, because, I mean, you know, these designers are very talented, and, you know, they're respected in the fashion community as well. You know, they may not be Marc Jacobs, you know, or Versace, but they are respected. And so having all of those features on my blog did help me get into the larger fashion events like New York Fashion Week and London Fashion Week, for example.
Yeah.
And similar things at New York Fashion Week and London Fashion Week. So
and that's the important thing, you guys, to remember, is that you don't have to jump out of the gate and go for the big ticket name or the big high level events. Like, start small. Work with your local pool of people, whether it's your community members or your Facebook friends or whatever. Like, start small and start covering those events and connect with those people, because that's what's going to lead you to those bigger opportunities. And it's going to take time, but it's worth it doing it that way than trying to just jump really big and feel like you can't do anything.
Yeah.
And when it comes to the blogging world and doing all of these blog posts, because a lot of us feel like we hear the word blog and it's like, oh, it's the death of me. When it comes to blogging, you do a lot of video blogging parts. And how would you describe that for people, and like kind of any tips around that? Because I feel like with live broadcasting, that is a huge part. And like for me, I know most of my blog posts are my live broadcasts, because honestly, I just don't want to sit there and type a bunch of things all the time.
Right. Yeah, I love doing video and I love filmmaking, and so, you know, I've taken like cinematography courses, like postgraduate work, and I've taken like editing courses in like Adobe Premiere Pro, Final Cut Pro, things like that. I think when I first started, I was actually maybe experimenting with like iMovie.
Oh yeah.
But that was very early on. But I think anyone, like they say, anyone with an iPhone now can make a video and put it online, you know, on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and things like that.
Yeah.
So, so what I like to do with video is interview people. So, you know, I've interviewed probably like 50 or so A-list celebrities over the years, and a lot of directors, a lot of actors. I also interview even like first-time directors and things like that, because I'm a big supporter of independent film.
Right.
So, and I enjoy going to events and making videos out of those events to really show my audience where I'm at, because not everyone can go to these events, so I want to show them what I'm experiencing and give them a taste of it.
I love that. And you guys, keyword experience. So Cindy's providing her viewers with an experience that they may or may not be able to live in person, right? They may not be able to get that real life experience, but she's going to provide them with the next best thing, which is her experience through her views, through whatever she's capturing at these events. That's what's important, and that's what I want you guys to remember is whatever you're doing, you want to make sure to try to provide the best experience for your audience. And video is clearly the way to go because it's the next best thing if you can't be there in person.
Definitely. And the thing is, you can distribute the video that you developed into, so many different platforms. I mean, you can put it on YouTube. You can put it now on Instagram. You can do a 1-minute video for Instagram, a longer one for Facebook. You can put it on Vimeo. You can put it on Instagram story, things like that. So, and on Twitter even. So I think it's a really good way of, for example, generating engagement and getting attention from people, like your target audience that you want to reach.
Right.
And it's just a good way of also establishing your brand as well. You can put your logo in it and so on and so forth and advertise your blog in that way.
I love that. And when it comes to social media and taking this information, this content that you've created, whether it be photos, videos, or blog posts, written blog posts, and you start pushing it out on social media, how do you kind of manage all of that in terms of not only posting to these different channels, but also engaging on these different channels? Because that's a lot of things going on.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, the thing is, I try to be really consistent with my posts. Sometimes I'm busier than other times, so I can't post as much, but I try to, throughout the week, I'm posting constantly, and I basically work on things in my free time. Whenever I have free time, I edit a video or I write a blog post, things like that.
Yeah.
And for engagement, I have certain apps that I've downloaded and also done research online regarding the best times to post on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, things like that. They're all a little different, on they say on LinkedIn, it's best to post in the early mornings, 7 to 8 a.m. or,
Sure.
When people are on their way to work or at noon, things like that, because it's more of a business networking tool. And then, for example, on Instagram has all different times. Sometimes it's best to post right before people go to bed at night, during that block. But, I use that for organic traffic. But also what's been effective is paid promotion and paid advertising. So I do use some of that just because the algorithms have changed so much that before, as you've all probably read and heard, now not everyone sees your posts.
Right.
So I do use some paid advertising, and I've experimented with that for the last couple of years, and that's been really effective in getting engagement and getting, for example, getting more attention, more followers, people clicking on your links and just engaging with the post, likes in general.
Yeah, no, and that's good to hear. And I love the fact that you mentioned testing, because I talk to my audience a lot about how we need to always test things, whether it's a post or a paid ad or whatever. We need to constantly test things because it changes so quickly, and we need to know if it's working or not for us. So
Right.
that was perfect that you said that you've tested over the years the paid ad part.
Definitely. I think it's so important to test and then, see what works and make adjustments from there. So, and also, it's important to constantly, be on top of the trends that are happening in social media marketing and just, online trends in general. And, I follow also trends in, the industries that I cover as well. So that's all really important.
And
keeping your blog fresh, keeping your social media content fresh is really important.
yeah, definitely. And do you have like certain websites that you constantly check for that, or do you kind of have like a little Rolodex that you kind of go through, like, oh, I'll check out this one for this industry, and we'll do that weekly or something like that?
I read so much online. There's so many different websites that I go to, and it really depends on like the industry and stuff like that. But a lot of colleagues that I have that, they own art galleries, or like,
right.
They are involved in film festivals and things like that, or they work in the art industry. So I actually follow a lot of their work and their posts, and they're so like on the cutting edge of what is happening. So I see what's working.
Yeah.
But I'm constantly like scouring the web for new trends and information.
Yeah. And that's what I think really makes you stand out, is that you're constantly seeing what's evolving, and you're connected on so many different levels with people that are in it right now, that are soon to be in it, that the corporates to the small time, just getting started. Like, you have a nice what word am I looking for? Like a good circle around you of various people, you know what I mean, at different levels, which is super important.
Yeah, and the thing that I want to stress is, a lot of people think that like social media and online marketing is like all you need to do, but it really isn't. It's so important to still have those face-to-face meetings and those connections. And that's part of the reason why I love actually attending these events and covering them. So many people, I have a really full schedule with events and traveling for these events, but a lot of people will tell me, oh, you really don't need to go to any of these events. It's good enough to just like send someone there and get the content, and you can just post it, But, in some cases, like if I'm really busy, that's the process that I use.
Yeah.
But I think it's so important to actually show up and go to these events, meet people, and networking is really important. And that's part of the way I launched the magazine, is because I actually went out into like the community, and I still do this, and I'm constantly meeting new people and networking. And so it's just a constant thing. It's a nonstop networking.
Right. Well, and it is important to have that face-to-face contact, because now you get to connect with someone on a whole nother level versus just email or just a text or whatever. And it makes you stand out more too, because now they see you. Now they get to feel, like how you are. They get the vibes and stuff. If you're, hanging out with them at the VIP party versus, just hanging out at home in your PJs, So it's like they feel that energy, and they're like, okay, this person can hang out with us. This person gets us. This person has a creative eye. They're going to be able to tell our story and share this experience with our followers, their followers, and those who are just waiting to discover us. So yes, connecting and being able to go to these networking events, like you said, when you can, versus just sending somebody, because that somebody isn't you, and they're not going to be able to connect the way you do.
And with that in-person connection, it just makes the online connection so much stronger. And then from there, you're like constantly just strengthening and building that relationship, So
true.
I think, the best, like if you could connect with them maybe first online and then meet them, or it could be the other way around.
Yeah.
It's all, for me, it's all about relationship building. So I would say that part of the reason why my publication is so successful is because of all the relationships that have been built over the years.
Yeah, definitely. And what are you doing any big events for celebrating the Big 10 1-0, I should say, the Big 10?
Oh, right. Yeah, I actually have a big event that I've done for about 8 years now, the Mill Valley Film Festival.
Nice.
So that comes up every year in October.
Yeah.
And for the second year in a row, Diggin' Magazine is sponsoring the event. So we are a promotional media sponsor. So we're really excited about that.
Yeah.
And, so basically what we do at Mill Valley, which is very similar to what we do at other film festivals, is we cover red carpets, interviewing like A-list celebrities, watch films. You know, we have movie reviews that come out, and red carpet photography and things like that, and just basically full coverage of the event.
That's so cool. And you guys, I will say, I've been to some of these events and have helped out Cindy, and it has been so much fun and just so crazy to be right there on the red carpet and watching the stars come by and everyone else around us.
Yeah, Ed has been such a great help with helping me film and just with promotion of Diggin' Magazine and the event. It's just been so awesome working with you.
Thank you. Yes, I agree with you as well. It's been so much fun. And I know that you're very busy, so I want to make sure I respect your time. But any other tips or anything that we didn't get to cover yet that you wanted to make sure to cover?
I would say, if you want to start a blog and, you're really busy, maybe you have a full-time job or whatever, just no matter, if you wanted to keep it going, just no matter what is going on in your life, make it a top priority to never stop doing it, and make sure that you're really blogging about what you're interested and passionate about. So I think that's really key to success.
I couldn't agree with you more, and you said that so perfectly. I'm I can't wait to watch the replay for that part.
Awesome.
That is so cool. Well, thank you so much, Cindy, for joining us and sharing your knowledge. And please be sure to drop your links into the comments so that people can check out your blog and everything else that you got going on, because everyone can take a look at that. Even if you're watching the replay, go and look at her site and see what she's done and see that growth, because it's amazing. And you'll notice right away that you can feel that connection, that person-to-person connection, that vibe is going on in those posts. So take a look at that and see what it's all about.
Yeah, so we're at digginmag.com, and on all the social media channels, it's at digginmag. That's the handle. And just please follow the hashtag we've created for the 10th anniversary, which is Diggin10, hashtag Diggin10.
Yes, and I have that also tagged on this post, you guys, so if you needed to see that, It's there, and then the links will be in the comments. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Cindy, for joining us, and enjoy turning 10 for the big
Thanks so much.
event.
Great talking to you, Ed.
Yes, take care, and we'll see you soon.
See you soon. Bye.
All right, bye-bye. All right, guys, there we go. So how cool is that? So even if you're watching the replay, be sure to jump into the comments and say hello and let me know what you think. But again, it's super important to make sure that you start something that you're passionate about, that you understand that if something doesn't work out, if you get a no, it's not going to be reflecting on you necessarily. You have to ask yourself, okay, what's going on in the industry? I really enjoyed that part that Cindy mentioned there, because we have to realize that we have to analyze everything, and we have to test things, and we have to see what works and what doesn't, and we have to make those small pivots. So understand that part, and again, making sure that you connect with people. That we always talk about that. Connecting with people is huge, and being able to help each other out. Remember, teamwork equals success. So keep that in mind. Watch the replay, take little parts with you and run with them this week and really apply them to what you're doing. And like Cindy said at the end there, take whatever you're doing and make it a top priority, even if you're working a full-time job, even if you're super busy. If it's a passion of yours, you will be able to put that at the top priority, and you will be able to work on it little by little, and you'll watch it grow. And sometimes, I will tell you from personal experience, sometimes in the moment, it doesn't feel like you're moving too far forward, and you will get discouraged. But when you pause and reflect, and you see everything else going on around you, and you have that good circle of friends and coworkers and colleagues and entrepreneurs and everyone else, and they're there to help support you, you will see that growth, and you will be motivated and inspired to keep moving forward. So keep doing the work, keep showing up, delivering and engaging. And if you need anything, you know where to find me here on the page or at edtroxel.com. And don't forget to check out the Hey Ed community, because that's where you're going to get a ton of support for both business and tech. So until tomorrow, I'll leave you with this. Take care, guys. Thanks for tuning in. What is the Hey Ed community? I'll let them tell you.
I'm drawn to this community, Erica, because listen, I'm going to make sure as a business person, I know you are as well, serious business women, we're going to make sure that we're getting the content knowledge we need from the Hey Ed community. But I also want to laugh. I want to have fun. I want to enjoy my workday. And I know I'll get that balance in the Hey Ed community. I know he'll tolerate our tangents.
And I think that's the perfect way to have a really good engaged community. It's a perfect balance of business and fun, you know.
Stop letting tech hold you back and join Hey Ed today.